Guys, we're back with another video. I looked and looked on the internet as well as YouTube, and I couldn't find anything or any information on how to replace or redo the cooling system on a 2008 Cadillac CTS. This is I believe a direct injection version. But in any case, everywhere I looked, the information wasn't there. Anyway, so I had to learn pretty much on my own. In order for you to replace the thermostat, drain the coolant, and change the water temperature sensor, it's very easy. But once you do it once, the drain plug is down here for the radiator. You do that first, of course. Then I recommend undoing this hose right here, which is it comes back. I believe this is the return hose. Once you do that, just remove the cap for the fill tank. Next, 2 bolts right here for the intake manifold. Do not remove the throttle body. There's 1 plug down here. You undo all these little knickknacks back in there on the sides. You remove the intake manifold. There's 6 bolts, 2 up here, 2 down here, 1 up here, and 1 hidden in the back. Once you do that, you remove this rubber hose, and the whole thing comes off all at once. On the inside, there is a gasket which you remove just so you don't break it. Behind it, if you can kind of see it, this little foam piece right here, on top of it, it had a metal piece, just that one right there, and it doesn't need it at all. It really doesn't need it. Everything back there is already being held tight anyways, so the foam is not going to come flying off or anything like that. If anything, that metal piece was keeping it for, I believe, for heat dissipation. But in any case, the thermostat, it's back there. Once you remove all this, the thermostat is back there. There is 2 I believe it's 3 bolts actually you have to remove. The first one is on the hose coming from the fill tank. It comes from the fill tank down into the side of the thermostat housing. I can't even show you because it's really tight back there. I don't know if I can show you. My hands are all cut up. All these little pieces up here are really sharp, so expect your hands to be pretty cut up. Anyways, so the first hose comes in this way. It has a little bolt on it, a small 10mm. Remove that, put it to the side, and you can pull on that hose. It comes with a seal in it. Second one, it's back here on this side. It's I believe it's the return for the return for the thermostat, I believe. The bolt, it's right here. You remove that. It's a large, I believe, 14mm bolt. Put it to the side. And then the last one, it should be right on the thermostat housing. And it's on the hose that goes right into the thermostat housing. Once you remove that, you're not going to be able to remove that, just like that. There's 2 bolts on the thermostat that are long bolts. You remove those 2, then the thermostat is going to be loose. You should be able to just pull that out. By the way, this foam needs to come out. That's the reason I didn't put the metal piece back on. It's 3 bolts that are hidden deep in there. One of the reasons that my hands were very cut up. But in any case, here's my recommendation too. Once you remove the housing and you pull the 2 hoses off, make sure you get 2 new seals. One for this hose, one for this hose, and then one for the thermostat housing. I used, and it works, gasket maker, which is a paste. I put it on it last night. It should be good to go today. But anyways, once you put that back on, those 2 bolts on top is 89 inch-pounds. Okay, 89. Same with the bolt comes in and the bolt that comes here on this hose. This one, it should be a strong, nice grip. Just put about 100 inch-pounds and you're good to go. Just make sure that it's nice and tight. Once that's done, just put this back on, but do not put the intake manifold on yet. Let's go to the thermostat, I'm sorry, the water temperature sensor. It's in here. Now, this little wand for the oil dipstick, it has a bolt on the side of it. Undo that one bolt, and then this thing will swing to the side. Do not take it out because putting it back in is going to be a pain in the ass. But anyways, now I don't know if you can notice or you can see. Let me see if I can. There it goes. There is that little round thing. It's kind of like a heat shield for the sensor. I made a small cut on top of the plastic, and then I slit all the way down, and then I sort of spread it and pulled it that way, because otherwise you're not going to be able to pull that out. That little sensor, once you undo the clip, be careful with that clip. That clip will break off easily because there's so much heat is right next to the headers. So once you pull that off, use a 19 millimeter deep socket, and you should be able to pull that out. As soon as you pull it out, you know, the rest of the coolant is going to come out, but it's not really that much once you already do the flush. Put the new one back in and then torque it. I believe the torque specs are 17 foot-pounds. Once that's done, oh, by the way, in order for you to get some space to do that, you can either remove the oil filter. It gives you a little bit more space. You can move some of these cables so you get your hands back there. But here's the kicker: if you do undo the these connections right here, there's a cable which is a ground cable, and this was what got me also. The engine started sputtering. I thought it was something wrong. I thought I did something wrong once I put everything back together. If you see it back here, this bolt, do not put it here. Do not put it here. You need to put it directly onto the head. This is a ground for your spark plugs, for your coils actually. If you put it on plastic, you're gonna scratch your head and wonder. I've tore everything back up twice simply because I didn't know what was going on. But anyways, once you torque that up, put everything back together, put your intake manifold back on. These bolts, those 6 bolts that I mentioned earlier, they're 17 foot-pounds. 17 foot-pounds. Do not do any more than that. If you do 17 foot-pounds, do a quarter turn, and you're good to go. You should be fine. Plug everything back in. Once you plug everything back in the way it was, fill your fill tank, run your engine on hot. I'm about to do that right now anyways. Turn the heaters up on hot, air blowing as hot as you can, and then start filling it up. Just let the coolant go through, and that's that. It's done. But don't forget the locations: thermostat with a thermostat housing, temperature sensor for, I think it's a P128 code, I believe it is. Anyways, it gives you an engine code. It will not pass emissions in case you need it. And your fill tank, I believe your drain is right down here. Drain plug is right down there. Hopefully that helps you guys. I did not find any of this information online. I found it on my own, and it works. Everything works fine. All right. See you guys. Take care.